Hello everyone, this is Shaifali Katare, pursuing my graduation from Dr. Hari Singh Gaur, Central University, Sagar, currently in BSc 6th SEM. Under the guidance of our professor Dr. Dipali Jat ma'am, I am going to explain advantages and disadvantages of artificial insemination, which is my topic. So, before discussing the advantages and disadvantages of artificial insemination, let's have an overview of what actually is artificial insemination is and how the process is carried out. Artificial insemination (AI) is the deliberate introduction of sperm into a female cervix or uterine cavity for the purpose of achieving a pregnancy through in vivo fertilization by means other than sexual intercourse or in vitro fertilization. The first scientific artificial breeding was done with dogs in 1780 by an Italian physiologist Spallanzani, who proved that the sperm fraction of ejaculate is the component which causes fertilization. Now, how the process is carried out. Firstly, the best bull is selected, then by the artificial vagina method, bull semen is collected. Then the straw containing semen is stored in a storage flask of cool liquid nitrogen tank. After it, thawing of straw is done. Then gun is primed. Now the best cow is positioned and prepared, inserting arm into vagina and locating the cervix before inserting the gun. Use the elbow to exert downward pressure on the vagina. The gun should be inserted and guide the AI gun so that it is engaged in the cervix. Once the gun is just throughout the cervix, the semen should be deposited into the short chamber. It is where the cervix ends and the uterus begins. So this is how the process takes place. Now coming on my main topic, what are the advantages and disadvantages of AI? Firstly, what are the advantages of AI? AI provides the cheapest and simplest method of obtaining link bulls for group breed plan. Without AB, such schemes would not be possible. First advantage is ready access to good bulls. Without AI, the producers had to be content with bulls that were easily accessible. Now, top bulls are within everyone's reach. Each bull standing at an AV center is there because he has one or more characteristics of benefit to the industry. These characteristics may have been assessed through eye appeal, pedigree, show ring successes, the bull's own performance, or his progeny. No individual could own all the donor sites available at AV Center, but they are available to any producer able to use an AI service. Next advantage is maximum use of superior sites. Under natural services conditions, a top sire could be expected to sire about 200 calves in his lifetime. With the AI, the same sire is able to produce up to 5 lakh calves in the same period, and his use can extend after his death. Consequently, an AV sire can have a great beneficial impact on the industry. Next advantage is disease control. AI help eliminate venereal diseases. Artificial breeding as such has little effect on the incidence of leptospirosis. However, the use of AV demand closer attention to herd management, including better record keeping. Therefore, there are opportunities for better disease control in this situation. Next advantage is importation of new breeds and bloodlines. Under our existing quarantine regulation, the importation of livestock from most overseas countries is prohibited. Similarly, semen importations are tightly restricted. However, it is physically easier to transport semen and embryos than live animals. Through importation, producers have been able to enjoy the benefits of the exotic breeds such as Charolais, Wagyu, Simmental, Limousin. New bloodlines of the well-established breeds such as Angus, Hereford, Holstein Friesian can also be introduced. Now, next advantage is insurance against unavailability of service through death or injury. Owner of valuable bulls can have the bull semen collected and stored to preserve their genetic material. This is often cheaper than insuring against the bull's death or injury, and his genetic material remains available no matter what happened to the animal. Should some disability prevent the bull from mounting, semen can still be collected by the electroejaculation technique and processed normally. However, it is important to ensure that this disability is not a genetic factor which could be passed on to the progeny. Next advantage is syndication. The price of high quality sites are sometimes out of the price range of producers. Syndication is where producers or breeders purchase a bull in a partnership. Together, the pooling of these resources enable the group to purchase higher quality sites than they could otherwise afford as individual. Using AI technology, all members of the partnerships are able to concurrently use and take advantage of the genetic of their investment. Now, next advantage is intangible benefits. First, reduced need to keep bulls. It may be possible to eliminate the need to keep bulls, particularly on small, intensive properties. This limits the frequency of accident associated with bulls, and property management can also be improved as fences would require less maintenance. Second, improve management. To maximize the efficiency of AB, accurate record on individual cows have to be kept. A beneficial side effect is the improved overall herd management that results from having comprehensive individual record. Third, more uniform calf drop. A well run AI program should result in a large percentage of the cows calving in a short period of time. A compressed calving period provides the producer with a uniform group of progeny, therefore, improving performance comparisons across uh, various sites and reducing the management that would otherwise be required for calves across a considerable range of ages. When methods of estrus synchronizations are improved, an extremely uniform calf drop can be expected. Next, better herd control. With artificial breeding, the breeders know which calf came from which bull. With natural service, unless there is only one bull, there is no way of ensuring sire identity. If a grading up or crossbreeding program is carried out by artificial breeding as opposed to natural service, it is less complex from a management perspective as straws and semen are made as much easier to rotate and select as compared to the live animal in the pet dog. Good records work more efficiently than the best fences. Next advantage is economics. It is difficult to make general statement about the economic comparison of artificial breeding and natural service. For each cattle enterprises, a separate analysis is required to work out whether the economic advantages lies. And even then, it is necessary to incorporate in the analysis the estimate on productivity of the progeny to be obtained from either natural or artificial breeding. In making a cost comparison, it is important to take into account that AI program reduce the need to invest capital in maintaining and replacing herd bulls and enables productive cow to be run in their place, generating an additional income. Now, what are the disadvantages of AI? As technology in the laboratory improves and herd management become more accustomed to artificial breeding, disadvantages will diminish. For example, improvement in technologies have allowed the convenience of handling frozen straws rather than chilled semen in test tubes. First disadvantage is transmission of genetic fault. As was pointed out earlier, an artificial breeding sire can produce several thousand progeny in his lifetime. This means that if the bull possesses a genetic fault, it could be spread over a large number of progeny. For this reason, extensive monitoring of donor sires include health testing, chromosome studies, and more importantly, performance and progeny testing. Next disadvantage is economics. The economics of artificial breeding have been referred to earlier. The dollar cost of getting a cow and a calf on extensive property may be higher using artificial breeding as opposed to natural service. The logistics of handling large number of cattle, observing and possibly including synchronized heat increase the cost per calf. Again, as technology improves, some of this cost will be reduced. Next disadvantage is additional skill and labor required. An artificial breeding program places additional demand on management, particularly in detection of estrus and keeping of records, etc. However, close monitoring of breeders produces added benefits. Next disadvantage is reduction of stud sales. As more producers use artificial breeding, their demand for herd bulls diminishes and there may be a general reduction in sales. For some stud, artificial breeding can be profitable as semen rights can be sold rather than the bull himself and higher prices may be commanded. This is all about the advantages and disadvantages of AI. Thank you for being a patient audience and giving your valuable time. Thank you.